through the evening. The temperature should be dropping only to around 80 degrees by the end of the night. These two teams sitting in second and fourth, respectively, in this Group A. Suriname in second, Dominica down in fourth, with Guyana already assured of winning the group and advancing to the playoffs for us in the group stage at the Gold Cup next year. These are the results so far in the group for Suriname, as they won their opening match against Antigua and Barbuda before losing to Guyana as well as Martinique, while Dominica got hammered by Guyana in their first match, won the second, and drew in the third. Just one more match after this one tonight for each of these clubs. Neither will be progressing to the next round. It's only the first place team in these groups from League B that do advance to the one-legged playoff that'll take place in February, just ahead of when the group stage commences in the United States. Sparse crowd here at the Franklin Essed Stadium, which is in the southwestern part of Paramaribo, the capital and largest city in Suriname. A town of about 250,000 people, named for the indigenous tribe that lived at the mouth of the Suriname River. And this town on the Suriname River, just about 9 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. So very warm conditions throughout the year here in the Caribbean. A Dutch settlement on the northeastern coast, just of South America. And still waiting for the arrival of the two clubs. And they will be led out by our 4 officials here. 2 officials from St. Kitts and Nevis, one from Bermuda, and the other from the Cayman Islands. So the parade of the two teams onto the pitch will begin shortly. Then we will have the national anthems, followed by the teams exchanging handshakes, the photo with the officials, the captains meeting at midfield, and then the kickoff to this match here on this Sunday night. Guyana dominating
Ladies
the group
and gentlemen,
this year.
please welcome to this Concacaf Women's Road to Gold Cup group match the national teams of Suriname and Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Dominica. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Suriname. Ladies and gentlemen, today's starting lineup for Dominica. Number 1, Diamond Daniel. Number 2, Jessica.
Now the PA announcer announcing the starting lineups to the crowd here at the Franklin Essed Stadium. And here you get a look at the starting 11 for Suriname. And the home nation, managed by Yero Hezron.
Number 16, China Tulak. Number 17, Kiana Francis. Number 19, Selena Lancaster. And number 23, Lamaya Ford. Dominica's head coach is Ronnie Gustav. May I have your attention for Suriname's lineup. In goal, number 1, Mayra Chenakung.
And the captain's now meeting with the officials at midfield.
Number 3, Anna Bagirat.
For Suriname,
Number 5,
Hadassah Brandon and Romalicia Philip for Dominica. And there are the 4 officials. Shandar Willikins is the head referee, the 2-year-old from St. Kitts and Nevis, the first ever female FIFA official from that federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and she is taking charge of her 7th match so far in qualifying. She is a former national team player for St. Kitts and Nevis as well. Here is the starting formation, a 4-3-3 for Dominica and their head coach, Ronnie Gustava. Full substitutes bench, no injuries, no illnesses of note for Dominica here tonight. The team at the bottom of Group A in League B with a record of 1 win, 3 losses, and 1 draw. Suriname with 3 wins and 2 losses, sitting in 2nd place. The home team, Suriname, in the white, Dominica in the green, and away we go on this Sunday evening, Group A, League B. In qualifying on the road to the Concacaf Women's Gold Cup. The 2nd place team in the group, Suriname, taking on the bottom team, Dominica, sitting in 4th. Neither team with a chance to advance on to the group stage, but of course pride, confidence, a sense of rhythm within the national side. That's all still something to motivate these players and something to play for here as they take part in their final couple of games during the qualifying process. Suriname with 3 wins and 2 losses among their 5 matches to this point. They've scored 6 goals and given up 2. For Dominica, just 1 win against 3 losses and 1 draw. They've only scored 2 in 5 matches while they've allowed 19. So very porous at the back. It is a team that will sit back and try to absorb pressure, and they'll be very selective and try to be opportunistic going forward on the counterattack. But there's an early chance for Suriname, and this one is going to be punched home for the opening goal in just the 2nd minute. Katusha Patra, one of their leading scorers. Patra with their 3rd goal of qualifying, and Suriname, the early 1-0 lead here at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal for Suriname in the 2nd minute.
Good direct ball that gets in behind the line, and a good run by Patra. And just beats the defender for pace. Jessica Pierre-Louis couldn't keep up with her, and not much that Diamond Daniel, the keeper, could do. So Suriname out front quickly here with their 7th goal of qualifying to this point. Suriname coming in. A team ranked 132nd in the world. They were at a high of 81 at one point, so they've fallen rather far. But both of these clubs outside the top 100 in the world, but at their highest point, they both were at a similar stature. The home side ranked 81st at their high water mark, and Dominica 82. Suriname controlling possession early, as you would expect. This is a team that likes to be on the ball. They will work it and play the triangles. Geometry, very much a focus of their strategy and tactics. Suriname very confident in possession and typically using their pace up the flanks like you see right here, and that's where they can be very dangerous. Even though that opening goal came through the middle, they do have extreme velocity on both wings, and they can be very, very threatening. That's going to be a huge challenge for Dominica because they do not have that kind of pace at the back. So these forwards are going to be a handful that Suriname will throw forward here tonight. And for Dominica, in the rare opportunities when they do get on the ball, like they had an opportunity right here, they're going to have to be more patient and strong. It's a physical Suriname team as well, so you combine that pace, the physicality. It is a difficult team to play against, especially here on the road. Aaron pass, and Dominica a chance to get on the ball, but then they give it right back. Again, that's what I was just alluding to. They have the patience, the wherewithal, and the presence to then make the proper pass, the play, just string a few passes together and get the feeling of some kind of possession, because otherwise you're just chasing all night long. And so far here in the early going, in the 5th minute, that's what Dominica has been doing, even conceding the opening goal and already trailing 1-0. It is a team that has suffered some very one-sided losses. Dominica losing the reverse fixture to Suriname 4-0 at home. They were also beaten by Guyana 5-0, and their worst loss coming in the other match against Guyana when they were thumped 9-0. Their one win coming over Antigua and Barbuda 2-1. Suriname threatening once again, this time down that right side. So we've seen him use the left flank, the right, as well as go up the middle. And a throw in now here with just over 5 minutes gone by. The Suriname squad can be very dangerous. They have several different multiple goal scorers on the roster. And now a chance for Dominica, trying to hit on the counterattack, but man, this is where their lack of pace really can hurt them. Naomi Piquet running it down that time. And as a result, Suriname not afraid to take chances first forward because they know they can recover on the backside. This time down the left flank, Samani Layafo. And a whistle. And Suriname continuing on the front foot here. This is going to be the first corner of the match. Layafo is the smallest player on the pitch, but has that pace and the skill forcing the intervention. And now the first corner of the match. It'll be an in-swinger here. As Suriname looks to build on the early lead. Pretty good delivery to the top of the 6, but it makes it through untouched. Plenty of space in behind the lines. Good ball through the channel, but this time Diamond Daniel is going to come out to scoop that one up. The keeper who plays her club football with Harlem United. But again, looking for Patra, who got the game's first goal. And big physical number 9, good target forward. They're going to be able to keep it in here from the end line, and it's going to go out for another corner, this time from the other side. So Suriname continues to put the pressure on. Stephanie Hannenberg doing a good job getting to that ball to keep it in play and earning the corner. Jessica Pierre-Louis is the center back who's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with some of these Suriname forwards. This time the corner and in swinger. Left-footed line drive, ricochets in from the top of the 6, and it's Stephanie Hannenberg who earned the corner. She deflects it in, and a quick 2-0 lead as we hit the 8-minute mark in this first half. Good delivery, low line drive with pace, and actually it's going to be an own goal. It is going to be an own goal. Alian George with the header, and you never want to head it back towards your own goal. She was trying to get in the way, maybe head it back out and concede another corner, but that's just way too risky. So the own goal by George, even though they're going to put Hannenberg up on the board. Maybe they'll change this, but that clearly went off the head of Alian George. Either way, Suriname now with the 2-0 lead. And a chance to pour it on and add more. Loafo with plenty of daylight down the left. Cuts it back from the top of the box and a goal kick. Good opportunity for Katie Chin-Si-Chong. And a well-crafted combination by Suriname. And a smart play by Shamara Steckinger helped that ball run through. Steckinger, the top goal scorer on this Suriname squad, but realizing they had a better opportunity if she let it go on. And Chin-Si-Chong just got under it too much and skied it over the cage. 10th minute, 2-0. Steckinger here wins the throw. Steckinger, one of the top assist leaders on this Suriname squad as well. Now Dominica just looking to clear, not looking for a target on the outlet, and so this time Suriname will float it down the right side, ship back up, and the heavy touch is going to allow Dominica to recover in their own end. But this is a team just struggling to clear it out of their own third at this point. Suriname having their way. Dominica with Alian George cutting it back. First time they really had an opportunity in the Suriname end. A lot of white shirts coming back, and they win possession. Now a chance to use their pace here in transition. It's going to be curled ahead. And Dominica able to recover. Selena Lancaster plays it out. Otherwise, it was going to be another golden opportunity for Katusha Patra, who's looking for the brace at this point here. Still in the first quarter hour of the match. On Bagarath with the throw. Bagarath, a defender on this Suriname squad, but she's all over the pitch. She has pace, physicality, and a pretty stout foot as well. She can create overloads and transition opportunities just by playing long balls, diagonal, sometimes direct and over the top. She got the assist on the first goal for Suriname. So see a threat out of the back forward offensively, as well as when Suriname has to get into a defensive posture. Loafo trying to get there first in the white. Oh, she goes around her marker. Has space. Dangerous opportunity. Cleared away, but not too far from the top of the box. The shot ricochets around. Loafo plays it back out of the box. A chance to serve it back in. Long shot, then it goes in. And Bagaroth, the player we were just talking about, with that rocket of a left foot. It looked like she might serve it in and try to cross it for a runner, but instead, she just beats the keeper, Diamond Daniel, instead. 3-0, 13 minutes in. And Daniel just wasn't even expecting it. Yeah, when you look back, she was shooting all the way. Maybe saw the keeper, Daniel, leaning somewhat, so she took the opportunity to blast it home from well outside the box. It's all Suriname here. Now in the first meeting between these sides, Suriname beat Dominica 4-0. It's already 3-0 here after the first 13 minutes of the reverse fixture. When these two teams first got together, that was the first match for both in this phase of qualifying. Suriname would go on to beat Antigua and Barbuda in their second match 1-0. Lost to Guyana 1-0, and then beat Antigua once again by a 1-0 score. So after their 4-0 win over this side, it was 3 consecutive 1-0 games where they won 2 and lost 1 of those. Loafo. Now back to the most recent goal scorer, who crosses this time. Ball brought down, but then cleared out. Bagaroth again. This time curls it in. Here's Patra. And Daniel comes out to make the stop, but on the rebound, they score their 4th. Katie Chin-Si-Chong makes it 4-0 for the home side. Now, Diamond Daniel came out to make the initial stop, and then by virtue of the fact she vacated her goal, made it too easy. Patra off of Daniel, and then no one covering the goal, so it was a relatively easy volley for Chin-Si-Chong. And a convincing 4-0 scoreline here, just over the quarter-hour mark. Dominating start for the home side here on this warm Sunday night in Suriname. Dominica looking to salvage something. Still a long way to go, but having trouble keeping the ball. And look how much space all those white shirts have here. Patra just couldn't bring it down, and it was going to require a delicate touch and just couldn't control it that time. Reminiscent of how they scored the opening goal, just playing it direct to Patra up top. Now Loafo brought down in the box, and it looks like we'll get a penalty. Yeah, pretty clear. Not able to get the ball. And now they'll have a chance to make it 5-0 from the spot. And it is going to be Steckinger who's going to line it up. Shamara Steckinger, one of the top offensive threats on this squad. This for 5-0. It is a rout in Suriname. Well struck. Daniel late diving.
In de 19e minuut, nummer 11, Shamira Steckinger.
Now, this now makes it the most one-sided game that Suriname has played in qualifying. As I mentioned, they beat Dominica in the first meeting 4-0, and that was after full time. It's 5-0 here, less than 20 minutes in. And great things are going. Could get much worse. Suriname completely dominating and having their way. For Dominica, this already matches their second largest deficit. There's that speed once again, and Dominica really just trying to survive at this point. Selena Lancaster getting back at that left back position, but they are just hanging on here. They can't match Suriname in really any category. Physicality, pace, skill, possession, quality on the ball. Right now, just chase it. I'm just trying to find something they can do with the ball here, and not a bad idea. Alian George was making the break, but she's offsides. So just over 20 minutes deep, and for Suriname, the game well in hand. For Dominica, what do you do? How do you find a path back in? Controlled like this. And Loafo just outdid her there. Too many touches, got spun around and concedes a kick. Now qualifying, winding down here on this road Concacaf Women's Gold Cup that again will be played in 2024 in the United States. The tournament will be contested by 12 teams, 8 Concacaf national teams, plus 4 teams from CONMEBOL. Among the teams who have already booked their spot in the group stage, you have the U.S. as the host nation, Canada, a CONCACAF Olympic playoff winner, Mexico, the winner in qualification League A, Group A. There will be some other qualification league winners that will be added. There will be playoff winners once the one-legged playoff takes place in February. And then the 4 guest members from CONMEBOL who have already locked up their spots: Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and Paraguay. So some marquee names set to battle in the first edition of the Women's Gold Cup next year. And some pretty high-profile events to be used, including the final, which will be in San Diego. Free kick here for Suriname, the 5-0 lead. Now, the one thing you don't want to have if you're a team like Suriname, with Shamara Stekinger, the player who was down, she just converted that penalty a short time ago. What you don't want to do is get somebody injured at this point. You've got the game well in hand. Just stay healthy. And let's see, this looks like it will be the first yellow card of the match as well. So the free kick upcoming. First time the trainer has been called out here in this first half. And another glance. And the feet kind of just getting tangled up. Jessica Pierre-Louis was the player there.
17, Kiana
I don't know if that was worthy of a yellow, but in any event,
23rd minute.
It was enough to draw the caution, the free kick, and Stekinger's still down.
Correction, yellow card issued to player number 2, Jessica Pierre-Louis from Dominica in the 23rd minute.
So it is going to be Anne Bagaroth, who has one of the 5 goals, set to deliver this free kick. Suriname, team that's very good in set pieces. She might even think of giving this a go on goal, given the left foot that she possesses. Instead, you're going to swing it across, and looks like she just got too much underneath it. Much juice sailing over everyone. That's always frustrating on a set piece like that, whether it be a free kick or corner. If you are trying to provide service for your teammates and you just don't get it right, you hit one of those low stingers or you fly it over everyone, you feel like you should have done better. Pass here too far for Loafo. And that'll be off Bagaroth and out for a Dominic throw-in. Again, Guyana is the team from this Group A that will advance to playoffs for a spot in the group phase after qualifying. Hannenberg. And a corner. Third of this first half for the home side. Suriname squad, one of the top teams in this region in terms of corner kick efficiency. That's because the delivery is usually pretty consistent from Bagaroth here. She's their designated set piece taker. She takes most of the kicks, and she is just very consistent, on point with her delivery. Another one here comes through. And very dangerous. It's going to want as a goal kick, but you see the quality there. And a lot of other teams just don't possess that. When you have that low line drive, it's so dangerous because it's the defenders and the keeper make choices, and they've got to make split-second decisions. It can drag them out of position and create opportunities. One of the things you don't want is just a high floater that gives everyone time to get in position, and even if you get it to one of your forwards, there's no pace behind the ball. They have to generate their own pace to get a shot on goal. much contact there. Just over the halfway point of the opening frame. 5-0 for Suriname. All the goals coming in the first 20 minutes of play. And now a line drive and just punched over the bar by Daniel. Bagaroth with that rocket left foot. Almost had the brace here in the first half. A sensational strike, and Daniel just barely kept it out. Definitely going in, and Daniel just barely able to clear it over the bar. Here's the header off the corner. It's going to be kept in. And offsides with the flag up. Offsides so far, now one for each squad here in this opening half of play. Qualifying starting back September, wrapping up here in this first week of December. Still a few more days, matches to take place tomorrow and on Tuesday. It is a long road to the Concacaf Women's Gold Cup, and at the end of the journey, you really feel like you've earned it. And for some teams, through these match windows in the fall and now winter months, you're earning spots in the group phase or a spot in the playoff. There's a one-legged affair coming up in February. Dominica showing signs of frustration now. And the foul on Loafo. Ezra Elwin felt there was not much he could do, so another free kick from a dangerous area. And this time it's going to be Griffith Lasere to take the kick. And she's going to, I believe, try to cross the one, but it looked like one of those that could have either been a shot or a cross, but no runners for Suriname. If you're going to play a ball like that, you got to have the runners cutting in from a diagonal. Well, Dominica still fighting, but Suriname able to get the cross in. And a rare clearance across the midfield stripe. Doesn't last long. Suriname back at it. Trying to advance. Loafo will just drop it back. And Dominica really sitting back, giving Suriname all kinds of time. The difference is also a factor in a group phase like this when you're playing round robin. And typically, you'd want to pile it on as much as possible. But in this case, Guyana has already locked up the spot at the top. And the one spot available in the one-legged playoff, so it doesn't really mean much at this point. Otherwise, it's one of the criteria that is used when you need a tiebreaker or something to separate teams in the standings. Now, this is going to be a bad giveaway here. Ezra Elwin will intercept for Dominica, but then give it right back. Loafo turn. Now playing down the left. Steckinger for Loafo. Has time, has space. Loafo works in and makes it 6-0. Samani Alofo in the 32nd minute. Just marched all the way in here. Seconder, good patience. Loafo, good run. Takes it around to her defender who commits, and then Dale leaning towards her left. And that provided that short side to be wide open. And made it really easy for Loafo to just slow. That is going to fall against Suriname. Now Dominica at this point really just trying to make it to halftime with no more damage done. Just can't provide any kind of threat going forward. Spending so little time on the ball, too. Six goals from 6 different goal scorers. He's here for Dominica. His captain, Romichia Philip, standing over it. Now, perhaps the best goal-scoring opportunity that Dominica has had. First set piece in the final third here as they look to try and get on the board. And right into the wall. So now a chance to counter. They are not taking their foot off the gas here. Trying to add to this very emphatic lead. Rowena on. Had it go off her foot and out for a throw. Coming up on the final 10 minutes of this opening half. Suriname scored in the first 2 minutes, and they have not stopped scoring. What's remarkable is coming into this game tonight, through the first 5 games of this group, Suriname had scored 6 goals. And tonight already in the first half, they have equaled that total of 6. Just about a half hour to do it. Now coming way out for a rare touch is Mera Kong, the keeper for this Suriname squad. And I believe that may be her first action at all, first touch of the game with the ball in play. Another opportunity, Patra lost it in her feet, maintains possession, plays it back, long range shot just dragged wide. Bagger again looking for the brace. The danger continues for Dominica. Good turn. One-touch football played by the home side here. Quick to win the ball back. Steckinger tries to slide it through. And this will spin out for a corner. Fourth corner kick for this Suriname squad. They scored on one of the early ones, and from this same side of the pitch as well. Bagarath over to take it. This time clips it in. And a goal kick here in the 38th minute. Still no shots on goal for Dominica. Suriname, meantime, has more goals in this game than Dominica has opportunities in the final third. Rebound here, coughed up, and Daniel will dive on it. And Katusha Patra took a heavy hit that time. Patra had the first goal of the game back in the first 2 minutes. Try to follow this one up as Daniel couldn't hold it and then just clangs into Kiana Francis. Runs through. Loafo. Patra. Headed by Phillip. And a goal kick here in the 40th minute of this opening half of play. Now Suriname sitting in second place. If this result holds, they'll have 4 wins and 2 losses, but still can't catch Guyana at the top of this group. Guyana already locking in their spot in the playoffs. But still playing well, still very motivated, still playing with an intention, assertive, aggressive nature. So this is not playing like a team that is going to be done after qualifying. Something to build on, something to propel them forward. One of the Dominica players slow to get up here, Ezra Elwin. There's our referee, Shander Wilkinson, again from St. Kitts and Nevis, the 32-year-old, former national team player for them, and the first ever female FIFA official from that federation. And now danced down in goal for Dominica. Yeah, it could be something with her hand. They're pulling off the glove. Second time the trainer has had to come out here in this first half of play. And this one of several matches taking place on this Sunday evening in qualifying. Also Guatemala and Jamaica going head-to-head in Guatemala City, the U.S. Virgin Islands and Grenada. They are playing the Virgin Islands. Tomorrow, Aruba faces Belize. The Turks and Caicos Islands are in action at home in Providenciales. St. Kitts and Nevis facing Costa Rica, and Curacao against the Cayman Islands. Things will wrap up in terms of qualifying on Tuesday with
Damas and herren,
St. Vincent and the
correctie.
Grenadines
Het
facing
tweede doelpunt
Barbados,
was een own goal
Cuba
in de
and
tweede
St. Lucia,
minuut.
the Dominican Republic against Bermuda, and Trinidad and Tobago facing Mexico.
Dus own goal door nummer 5, Alian George, in de 8e minuut. Het tweede doelpunt van Suriname.
There's Stankinger. And a heavy touch will allow Daniel to smother it. And you might have just heard the PA announcer. As I suspected, they are changing that early goal to an own goal on Alian George. They had originally credited to Stephanie Hannenberg of Suriname. It was that goal that came off the corner kick from An Bagaroth. But it was a ball that went off the head of George, so they do correct it, and officially it is an own goal. Dominica adding insult to the scoreline. 6-0 here, final few minutes of this first half. And another Dominica player is down. This might be a look back at the own goal, and it is. Alian George. So the own goal for number 5 in green, adding to the 5 others scored by Suriname here in this first half. 6-0 the score as we approach halftime. I believe that is Brittany Dennis who is down. And she hops back up for Dominica. And she'll come out here momentarily. It'll be interesting to see how much added time is put up on the board here in the next few seconds. Just 2 real injuries that have taken up some time. But at 6-0, Dominica may just want to get to the locker room and try to reset. Not worry about any added time here at the end of this first half. That is going to be a whistle against Shamara Steckinger, who had the goal on the penalty kick. She was the player who went down, thought she was L, but she was whistled for the infraction.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th official on the sideline has indicated that there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time in the first half.
So 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. There is Vesser. Sprayed out wide. And Loafo is offsides for the second time. A very pleasant night for the fans and the home side. Temperature around 80 degrees. Partly clear. Night for women's football here in Concacaf, but I guess not if you're Dominica. They have been beaten soundly in every way. Bagaroth playing the touch, going direct and over the top, and Daniel is going to come out to scoop this up. Here's George, who had the own goal, taking possession here. Bagaroth takes it away. Bagarath head up, plays the long ball, trying to curl it into the path of Patra. Just the way she did for the first goal of the game. And it will be a throw deep in the Dominica end for Suriname, midway through stoppage time. They'll get it in quick. Here's Chin Si Chong. She's one of the goal scorers for this Suriname squad. Now the distribution on the goal kicks has not been crisp for Dominica. There's a long shot, and it's off the underside of the bar and in stoppage time for a 7-0 lead for Suriname. Griffith Besser. Did nice to escape the defender, and they just unloaded from deep. And now that's the inside of the pipe as it's off the keeper Danielle, and it looks like it kind of got that confluence of the crossbar and the post, and then just caromed in. So 7-0, final second, stoppage time, first half. Here's the goal score. Good change of fields. And then another here in the closing seconds. That is going to be a corner kick. So that means Bagarath is going to come over. And this is the same spot where she provided the assist for the goal earlier. They got the own goal off the head of Alian George. They needed another, but the opportunity is here. Might be the final play of this first half. Floated in, comes all the way through, and no one could get on it, and that will take us to the intermission. A 45-minute, absolutely controlled, owned, and dominated by the home side, Suriname. A vast array of different goal scorers. Patra got it started in the second minute. George, the own goal. Chin Si Chong, Steckinger, Loafo. A different goal scorer on every tally through all 7 in the first half. And after the first 45, it's all Suriname dominating Dominica here at home, 7-0. Could not have been decisive. Total one-way traffic in this first half. Both teams now returning to the pitch here at the Franklin Essed Stadion in Suriname. Paramaribo is the capital and largest city in Suriname, and now getting set for the second half of play. And we're going to have a substitution, perhaps a couple starting off here. First of all, for Suriname, we're going to get a change in goal. Latifa Moldidjo is going to come in, and so is Severa Galant.
Leaving the game is Mayra Chinakung, number 1, the goalkeeper, and entering is number 22, Latifa Mojio. Also leaving the game is number 9, Stephanie Hanneberg, and entering is Safira Galant, number 10.
So the first two changes of the game come at the start of the second half, and they come for the home team leading 7-0. The curious thing about the goalkeeper change, as Moji has now come on to replace Kung, and she may see as much action in the game as she did on the bench, because Kung barely touched the ball. Have to do a whole lot in that first half of play. Now this is Alian George, number 5 in green here, over near the sideline as the second half is set to commence. Still waiting and talking things over here. Sparse crowd here in Suriname on this Sunday night in the capital city of Paramaribo on the north coast of South America. Surrounded by a tropical rainforest. This is a Dutch settlement, very ethnically diverse, just about 9 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. Overall, smallest country in South America. You've got Brazil to the south, Guyana to the west, and the Atlantic Ocean to the north. And not much in terms of square miles here for this country of Suriname. But they are showing out here tonight on the Concacaf stage. 7-0 as the second half now gets underway. 7 goals from 7 different goal scorers in that first half. So for Dominica, coming out of the locker room, what can they do differently? What could they potentially change? Likely not come all the way back in this one, but can they do something to get them some optimism here? Create some chances. Instead, Suriname starting once again on the front foot. A chance, and it goes off the crossbar on the rebound. They're going to a flurry of chances around the keeper, Danielle. And eventually, it is Patra who's going to put it home. She scored the first goal and now the 8th goal. The first player with more than one here in the game. She's got brace, and Suriname has the 8-0 advantage. Now, interesting sequence. Get a closer look at it here. The shot initially off Daniel, off the crossbar on the rebound. The ball was spinning, and it actually spun back before Patra knocked home. And I think Kiana Francis, the defender for Dominica, may have gotten I don't know if she did get a piece. Looked like she may have gotten a piece. I just think the ball had so much English on it. It was spinning so much that even though it looked like it was going to naturally bounce into the goal, the spin brought it back and prevented it from crossing the goal line. And that's when Patra was there to knock it home. She has her second goal, and it's an 8-0 lead. Very similar to the way this game started. Patra scored the first goal in the first 2 minutes of the first half. She scores the most recent goal in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Suriname with 6 total goals through their first 5 games coming in. They now have 8 goals in this game alone. Now for Dominica, why not take some chances? Why not try and be bold? Why not try something new? They haven't spent much time on the ball at all. Haven't been able to string together many passes. Just haven't had the opportunity. But they might get that here in the second half if Suriname kind of decides to sit back a little bit more, take their foot off the gas, and just kind of settle into this second half of play. We're going to get a substitute here for Dominica. Their first of the match, Kanisha Lewis, is going to come in.
Number 9, Ezra Elwin.
And Ezra Elwin will be the player who goes out.
Lewis in the 49th minute.
Sometimes when teams get a big lead like this, they, without even really trying, just kind of actually dial it back, knowing they don't need to do any more. So far, we haven't really seen many signs of that from Suriname. They've pretty much kept it going forward, kept the pressure on. Oh, tries to cross. And she'll chase it back down. Nicely controlled by Piqué. Naomi Piqué lost the handle, though. It's run down on the headline by Rana Ondan. The throw in for the home team here. Now, again, the inaugural edition of the Concacaf Women's Gold Cup set to be played between February and March in the U.S. Among the teams having already qualified, the U.S., Canada, El Salvador, also Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Paraguay, and now down to the 3 nights of qualifying altogether. Tonight, tomorrow, and on Tuesday. Chance for Dominica here, but it goes by the boards. There's that pace once again on the back line for Suriname. Run down by Naomi Piqué. Just so good. And then they turn it back upfield so swiftly as well. That's probably the biggest problem, I would think, for Dominica, is they just don't have the feet and the speed to keep with this Suriname squad. And this is another terrific chance, but it hits the side netting. That was Severin who just checked into the game. So coming on as a sub, but not quite connecting. Now Suriname just can do no wrong. It's the brace and the second brace of the game. This time for Katie Chinsichong. Had the volley in the first half. Her goal here in the second makes it 9-0 for the home. Now I mentioned before that Dominica may get some chances if Suriname kind of dials it back a little bit, but now they're not doing it. Daniel caught out a goal. And Chinsichong has her second of the match. So this matches the largest deficit that Dominica has had in qualifying. They lost to Guyana 9-0 earlier. And Guyana is going to win this group. So we're still a long go in this game. It could get worse. But I was also alluding to the fact that Dominica, even with the few chances they have had, they just don't have the pace of Suriname. So when they get an opportunity going forward, Suriname is able to recover. And they can just make it a foot race on the line and win every time. Suriname is not worried about going forward with the ball because if they lose it, Dominica takes it the other way. They know they can recover in sufficient time to prevent a scoring opportunity. Here's a giveaway, but not a good ball. Just playing it directly on goal and an easy stop for the new keeper, Tifa Mojijo. And now a breakaway. A chance to go double digits up here. Daniel coming out of the goal, and it's going to be a penalty. Second of the game for Suriname. And this is also going to be a card. A yellow card, Diamond Daniel.
Ladies and gentlemen, yellow
Now just
card
got all of the
player,
player, none of the ball.
Diamond Daniel in the
And it's the
54th
same
minute.
situation as the first half. Shamara Stankinger was the player taken down. She earned the spot kick, converted for a goal. Also taken down here, and once again, she'll try and convert to make it 10-0. Oh, but it stopped. Now the rebound. Stopped again. Oh, Stankinger misses two opportunities, and the biggest bright spot match for this Dominica team that has absolutely been overwhelmed. Stopping the PK and then stopping the rebound. Diamond Daniel, her finest moment of the evening. So something to latch onto here for the visitors. Stankinger, one of the top goal scorers on this roster for Suriname, had two good cracks at it. Couldn't convert either one. PK here turns in the box. Pulls it back. Jin Si-chong has it partially collected before it's cleared away. Suriname, though, can restart. Dominica has to pull out. They got to get some numbers forward here. They're sitting back and letting Suriname dictate terms to them. And now here's a chance on the break. Oh, that's a very good ball. Well-weighted pass. But the flag is up for offsides. Laia Forda was the player who was just in ahead of the play. Well, that's the right idea. Trying to start that transition quickly, the springboard forward, the pass into the on-running player. So if they can do a little bit more of that, they may find some opportunities. Again, the big problem is going to be, can they do it quickly enough and catch Suriname off guard? Now Gallant had a chance a moment ago. This time gets around George. And she'll let it out for a goal kick. Suriname lot left. Agarath. So dangerous on these set pieces. This time a lot of muscle behind it. Shot from distance deflected, and that should be another corner. If they're going to rule a goal kick, perhaps deflected off a Suriname player last. That's a good step there defensively by Dominica. But now Gallant, space. And Visser just bumped off the ball. Face. Won by Ondan. Well, one player for Dominica who has been completely taken out of this game and who has pretty much been a non-factor is their best offensive weapon, Star Humphreys. Humphreys, just 19 years of age, scored both of their goals in the victory over Antigua and Barbuda. And she is the most consistent offensive threat that they have. So when you think about it, you've got the player who has scored your only 2 goals so far in the group phase through 5 games. And she's largely been anonymous here tonight. Someone else who hasn't made her presence felt is the captain, Romicia Phillip, a 25-year-old who played soccer west at LSU. But neither player has really been a factor whatsoever. 60th minute, 9-0. PK having her way. Spinning. Slotting a pass at the top box. And Dominica just clearing. Forda maintains pin. Now creates some space. But a lot of white shirts behind the ball. Stays with it. Now a 2-on-2. Probably laid it off to her right. One touch too many. And the opportunity is gone. Suriname with all kinds of daylight here. Trying to go over the top. They do. Patra on a hat trick. And a corner kick. Fine save by Diamond Daniel, who has had all kinds of issues in goal here tonight. Dusha Patra turning and firing. One of 2 players, 2 goals. Katusha Patra and Katie Chinsichong, the 2 players eat the brace among the 9 goals for Suriname so far tonight. This time the swinger floated in. Wide open header was missed, and then on second opportunity, it skied over the goal. And Bagaroth coming in from her weaker foot, that right foot. She scored from her left back in the half. Suriname still applying pressure high up the pitch. Winding down final matches of this qualification process. 28 matches in all being played across this particular match window that will lock in the final 8 berths at the Concacaf Women's Gold Cup for next year. Some of those berths have already been spoken for, more to be decided here as we go through the final days of qualifying, and the top teams, the high-profile box office names already with their places secured. The U.S. is the host nation into the group stage. Canada, the Olympic playoff winner from CONCACAF, they are already in. Mexico has booked their spot. Then, of course, the 4 guest teams from CONMEBOL, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and Paraguay will also play in the U.S. early in 2024. And from this particular group in League B, Guyana has a chance. They win the group when qualification is over in 2 days, and they will move on to a playoff. A series of playoff matches will take place on February the 17th. That is a one-legged playoff, and the winner of all of those matches will get a spot in the group stage. Here is Jessica Louis with the throw for Dominica. There's been a few touches for Latifa Mojijo, the substitute goalkeeper who came in at the start of the second half for Suriname. Loafo here, cutting it back, rolls through, and a save by Daniel. Steckinger was there on the doorstep. Yeah, now that's a few pretty good solid saves. Diamond Daniel in goal for Dominica. The penalty, the rebound, that was a blank stop right there. So while she had all kinds of problems in the first half, she's come up with some pretty fine saves here in this second half to keep Suriname in single digits on the scoreboard. Francis blasts it downfield. Overlapping run by George, but out for a throw. Suriname. Now, Suriname may be the smallest country in South America, but having a big night here at home in the city of Paramaribo, the capital. All over this Dominica side. Now a chance for 10-0. A collision. No whistle. And out for a corner. I believe that's Patra who was down there. Yep. Looking for the hat trick. And absorbs some heavy contact from Diamond, the keeper. She's still down. Now, it should be a very interesting inaugural edition of the Concacaf Women's Gold Cup. So many high-profile teams, the marquee names that you want to see, and when you have the likes of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, you welcome the powerhouses from South America. We see how compelling it can be on the men's side. Now, for the first time, see the women's edition as the women's game continues to grow globally. And now just one more international event to add to the calendar coming up in just a few months' time. Dominica on the break. Suriname very good in timing their defensive challenges here tonight, always knowing when to step, when to make that move. It can sometimes be risky, and you can leave yourself vulnerable if you try to go in, you miss the challenge, and the opposition can break behind you. Now, a pair of substitutions for Suriname, two more players coming on. First, it'll be Natalia Menezes, and also it'll be Yannick Van Zichum.
Number 14, Natalia Menezes. Also leaving the game is number 6, KD Chen Si Chong, and entering the game is number 16, Yannick Van Zichum.
Chen Si Chong going out there after a 2-goal performance.
66 minutes.
So that's now 4 substitutions for the home side. Well, just one has been made by the visitors. You've got the keeper switch that we had at the beginning of the second half. Latifa Mojijo coming on. And Severa Galant, Menezes, and Yannick Van Zichum all coming on here in this second half for Suriname. Now, Dominica, a Caribbean island that is trying to grow in all sports, especially in women's football here. Going to take a while as this shot is blocked. Dominica currently ranked number 161 in the world, but a beautiful island. Mountains, tropical rainforest, hot springs. An island that has a lot of geothermal volcanic activity. Here's Alfo, again, so dangerous on that left-hand side. Pass a little bit behind PK, and Dominica able to punch it out of the box. And for Forte, who gets onto the end of this one, 1v2, as a player available, decides to shoot instead, it looks ill-advised. Maya Ford had a player out to her right, but it looks like she was trying to get a shot off instead, as they look to still find that elusive first goal. They do finally have a shot on goal here in this second half, their first one of the match after no shots back in the first 45. Cricket is a very popular sport back on the island of Dominica, which is south of Guadeloupe, north of Martinique. And a chance here will result in a corner kick. Again, the power and pace of Pod proving so disruptive for that back line of Dominica. And now the visitors about to make two substitutions here. First up, Rosalinda Paul will come on. And China Tuck will come out.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution
and also
for
Kimra
Dominica
Joseph set to make an appearance. Number 14 in green.
Leaving the game is number 16, China Tulloch, and entering is number 14, Kimra Joseph. And also leaving the game is number 7, Romelsia Philip, and entering is number 20, Rosalinda Paul.
So the captain comes off for Dominica here with 20 minutes left to go. 9-0, the lead, Suriname. Daniel knocks this down and able to cover up. Dominica getting some opportunities here in the second half. You wouldn't there necessarily quality chances, but at least a little bit more so than what we saw in the first half. Getting some more space to operate top, getting the ball forward. Suriname not as quick to recover. No doubt, legs getting a little tired at this point, plus the motivation just naturally wanes when you're up by 9. It's hard to really keep the focus and stay fully engaged. Now Suriname on the move. White shirts flooding forward. Now that pass a little too far though for Samani Loafo. She's going to bat it though. Going head-to-head with Jessica Pierre-Louis. And the diminutive Loafo wins a throw-in. Is pressuring high up the field. Here's Menezes, substitute. Hard to believe the Suriname team, the way they have looked tonight, is coming off 3 consecutive 1-0 games. 2 wins and a loss. Their most one-sided win was their first meeting with the very same Dominica squad, 4-0 in Dominica to open the group stage. But They have not produced anything the likes of seen tonight. Certainly helping their goal differential, even though it's not going to matter in the end. But overall, this is now 15 goals for and just 2 against for Suriname here in the group stage. Here's Gallant, 1v1. And that's well done by Star Humphreys, who defend. Now Gallant has the size, pull her off the ball. Now tries to get in behind. And Gallant just not going to get there in time. Now Suriname still chasing balls down here. But there is some more space in the middle of the pitch to operate for Dominica. But Suriname, no doubt, trying to keep a clean sheet here. They have not played a game yet. Both teams have scored. Beat Dominica 4-0 in their first match, and beat Antigua and Barbuda 1-0, lost 1-0, and then won 1-0 in the game prior to this one. Loafo plays it across, but no whites in the area. With a quarter of an hour low. It's interesting when you look at this roster for Suriname. As Patra rails this one at the top of the box. Again, looking for the hat trick. She's going to line it up. Off the post. Rebound comes out. Kept alive. And now they're going to say it's out for a goal kick. Oh, that close for Katusha Patra. Cementing the hat trick here tonight at home.
Ladies and gentlemen,
long range effort all post.
Today's match is 215. We want to thank you as fans to have attended
another
the
look.
Women's Road to
Daniel
Gold
clearly beat. And Steckinger unable to hold it in. I was about to say, when you consider the roster for Suriname, they have a lot of players who play their club football elsewhere outside of places like the Netherlands, Austria, the U.S. So some players who go abroad and ply their trade internationally coming back to play for the national side here. Daniel has to scamper to cover up on this one after knocking it down. Always so hard when you get smaller countries to find the talent pool to be as competitive against the bigger nations. Can Dominica put together anything that resembles a distinct pattern of play here? Something to build on. Anytime you're getting beaten only, all you want is something in the game to give you a glimmer of hope going forward. Something to look forward to after the match. For your next training, your next game, the next opponent. Something to believe in. When you just look at the scoreboard, hard to find anything positive. And George will not be able to keep that in for Dominica. Well, actually, she is. She'd keep it in. Everybody just kind of stopped playing, and now the flag is up for offsides. Boy, that was unusual. It looked like everybody just kind of playing, so you were thinking that the ball must have gone out. And now we're going to get another substitution here. This is going to be Andaya Lantveld, who is going to come in. And now she's a who, under other circumstances, if there was still an opportunity to qualify, she would have most likely started.
Ladies and gentlemen,
she is arguably their top offensive player.
Leaving the game is number 11, Shamaira Stettinger.
And in fact, he's the
number 7,
country's
Andaya
football
Landfeld.
player of the year. Andaya Landfeld. And right away, starting on the front foot here, shot blocked. And she can make quick impact. Good Suriname has been, building this 9-0 lead without arguably this adventurous and effective offensive player, Landfeld, who now checks in with just about 12 minutes left to go in regulation. Can Suriname get to double digits? Dominica just looking for any kind of quality chance, trying to get on board here. Forward turning, getting on the ball. Now George lays it off. George again. Clipped from behind, and that's going to be a foul on Gallant. So a free kick for Dominica. George, who had the own goal back off the corner kick in the first half, standing over it here. Also, Star Humphreys, who played again at LSU. And it looks like it's going to be Humphreys to deliver. We'll see if she goes for goal or just chips it in. Tries to provide service. Humphreys with a shot. And just over the bar. Didn't miss by a whole lot. Star Humphreys, who has the only goals scored so far in qualifying for this Dominica side. Now Gallant. Gives it away, but tries to win it back. Comes to Patra. Lays it off. Landfeld lines it up. Goal kick. Inside the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time here at the Franklin Essed Stadium in Paramaribo, the capital of Suriname. And that one's deflected. I believe it's another own goal. It's at 10-0 Suriname. Patra was chasing it, but I think it's going to be the second own goal game for Dominica. Let's have another glance here. That was Patra, and yeah, indeed, I don't even think she got a piece of it. That one went off of Selena Lancaster and in. So it's going to be an own goal for George in the first half, Lancaster in the second. Suriname has hit double digits, and now officially the largest margin Dominica has trailed by here in the qualifying stages. Lost to Ghana 9-0 in their most recent match, now trailing 10-0 here to Suriname on the road.
Doelpunt voor Suriname, own goal door nummer 19. Number 19, Selena Lancaster in the 81st minute. Own goal by Selena Lancaster in the 81st minute, number 19.
So a pair of own goals for Dominica, a pair of braces for Suriname, and then 6 other goals from 6 different goal scorers for the home side here tonight on this Sunday evening in the smallest country in South America. And Dominica is trying to get to the finish line now. Trying to somehow create a chance, maybe just that one moment that could make the suffering worth it here. Now racing up the left-hand side is George. And that's been the story of the night. Just can't compete with the pace of Suriname at the... And yet another substitution coming up for the visitors here. And this will be Amia Gilbert, who will come on. And Dennis will leave for Dominica.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for Dominica in the 84th minute. Leaving the game is number 6, Brittany Dennis. And
this is the final game in qualifying for each of these nations, neither which will be advancing on here on the road to the Concacaf Women's World Cup. The road for them ends here, as it will be Guyana advancing to the one-legged playoff for a spot in the group stage at the inaugural edition of the Women's Gold Cup early next year in the U.S. It's going to be Guyana finishing in first, Suriname second, Antigua and Barbuda third. Dominica will finish in last place here in Group A. Now Gallant, ridden off the ball. And she's going to fight against two defenders, though. Final 5 minutes. Landveld wins possession back for the home team. And a whistle here. It's going to be a foul against Landveld and a free kick for Dominica. And an explanation by our 32-year-old referee from St. Kitts and Nevis. Again, Shandor Wilkinson, the first ever female FIFA official from that federation at St. Kitts and Nevis. Now for Suriname. This game has never been in doubt, and even though they are not moving on, hard to find a better way to end and punctuation mark on your qualifying campaign. The most decisive performance and result of the entire qualifying process, as the flag is up for offside on Landveld here. After winning more than 4 goals in their previous matches, a 10-0 thumping coming here tonight in their final game of the qualifying group stage. Both of these nations continuing to build their women's programs. It takes a while. It takes years. It's a process. There's fits and starts, a step forward and 2 steps back, but continuing to grow and evolve is the key. As Daniel's going to come out here to scoop this up. And with more international competition coming up, more chances to prove yourself and advance It won't be happening this year for the Women's Gold Cup, but it will be soon enough. Free kick here as Fofo is taken down. And she is still down. Going to be a yellow card. Second of the match on the visitors. And it will be Bagaroth, who already has 1 goal tonight. She'll take the set piece. So the yellow on Amaya Gilbert, who just checked into the game, a second half substitute. And Bagaroth going to unload, a line drive shot. Daniel makes the stop. Looking for a second goal in a similar fashion. From distance with that rocket of a left foot. But Diamond Daniel, after the troubles she experienced in the first half, has been much better, much tighter, cleaner, tighter, more sound in goal in the second half of play, and that includes stopping penalty. Now down to the final 90 seconds plus stoppage time. Suriname in position to come away thinking, all right, qualifying didn't quite go our way, but still, we're going to have a record of 4 wins, 2 losses. So it is a winning record. Second place in the group. First team does not advance from this group, and ending on their highest note of the qualifying round. This very decisive victory over Dominica. So this gives you the good vibes, the good feeling walking away from qualifying, even though it's the end road, knowing this is definitely something to build on and a good step forward for their next international competition. Meantime, for Dominica, it's going to be a tough way to end things. This is one of those where you just want to forget about it, close the book, and unlike Suriname, where you try to build off this as a platform and a springboard, better things in the future, this is one of those you want to erase. You want to realize what you did wrong and how you were beaten, what you needed to do to improve. But other than that, you want to erase the result, think ahead to the future, and you can start absolutely fresh. So 3 minutes of added time here on the clock at the end of this 10-0 game.
A minimum of 3 minutes of added time in the second half.
Pretty comprehensive performance by Suriname as well. They did get the 2 own goals from Dominica, but make no mistake, those own goals were in part created by the way that Suriname was generating their offensive chances. Manufactured the impact, and they kind of forced those own goals from Dominica. And this will be a goal kick here. They weren't just sloppy own goals, but Suriname forcing the issue. And beyond that, you had 2 players, a brace, 6 other individual goal scorers. So they showed the offensive breadth and the scope of this team and what they can do with their full potential, showing their versatility and the way they can go across the board and get contributions from several different players. That's again a sign of growth and evolution, and something they will look forward to in the future, as we are halfway through stoppage time now and closing in on the end of this match. Coming to the end of this Group A here in League B. After several months of qualifying, six matches in all, and now down to just about the final minute here in Paramaribo, Suriname. Start to finish, wire to wire, the narrative has been controlled by the home side. Even without starting some of their top players, they have still been able to absolutely take charge throughout. And another set piece coming up here. One more chance for Bagaroth to unleash that left-footed missile. Instead, she's going to pass it off. Chip down the right side for Gallant. And a corner kick. And be the final play of the match here, with time ticking towards that 3-minute mark in stoppage time. This could do it. And Bagaroth. Back post, headed down, and then just volleyed out. Past the allotted stoppage time. Not going around her marker. Suriname keeping the pressure on. It's chipped in, good service, and a final goal to get 11-0. The hat trick for Katusha Patra with maybe the last kick of the game. Patra knocks down the hat trick, and what an exclamation point on this match tonight. 11-0 Suriname over Dominica. Tremendous service by Bagaroth, and what a volley from Patra. Of all 11 goals, that was probably the best. So what a way to end it. Not just the game, not just the whole qualifying process. No matter what kind of an opponent you're playing, no matter what kind of game you're in the middle of, even though it's so one-sided, the quality goal, no matter the circumstances. And that does it in Suriname. Game is over, and Suriname, a thumping, convincing, emphatic victory here. The most one-sided game in Group A here through all of the qualifying round in B. 11-0, the win for Suriname over Dominica here on Sunday at the Franklin Essed Stadion. A full show of force here. A pair of own goals, a brace, a hat trick, 6 other players on the score sheet as well. Suriname checked every box, and they did it all from 1 through 11. Everybody throughout the lineup contributing to this victory here tonight. A clean sheet. And as dominant as you will see, 11-0 the final. Tremendous way to end it for Suriname. They will finish qualifying with a record of 4-2 in the group. Dominica will wind up 1-4-1. As we take you back through the highlights, and how much time do you have? Because there's a lot of them. First goal from Patra here in the first 2 minutes. It would be the first of her 3 on the night. That set the tone, and it would be an early thumping for Suriname. Off the corner kick, the own goal from George. 2-0 inside the first 3 minutes. And then how about this from Bagaroth? Another one of the quality goals on the night. The left-footed laser away from Diamond Danielle. And by that point, Suriname were well on their way. Would be more. The volley from Chin Si Chong, the first 2 goals on the game. Off the rebound, the one-timer. At that point, Dominica was realizing it was not going to be their night. They would then pay the penalty. And Shamara Steckinger, the first of her 2 penalties on the night, would convert this one to make it 5-0. Another fine goal for Loafo, stepping around her marker and slotting it home at the near post. And then Vasere, range effort off the inside of the post where it meets the crossbar there. What a shot. Gets the kick. That took us to the end of the first half. Very one-sided. It picked up in the second half, where things left off. Patra with her second goal of the game. And again, after scoring in the first 2 minutes of the first half, she scores in the first 2 minutes of the second. This time off the rebound. And then a bad giveaway here. And then just the tip from Chin-Si Chong for her second goal of the game. One in the first half, in the second half, Daniel caught out of the goal. Katie Chin-Si Chong would later leave the game as she left with 2 goals on the night. And then Steckinger here with her second penalty. This one she missed. Also misses on the rebound that Danielle gave up. And then the second own goal of the game for Dominica right here. It went off of Gilbert. And then right at the best goal of the night, the hat trick for Patra on the volley. One-timer, terrific delivery from Bagaroth. And just a perfect way to end a pitch per night here on the pitch at Franklin Essed Stadium, as the hat trick for Katusha Patra puts the punctuation on this match and qualifying. The numbers all very one-sided. 22 shots for Suriname. They put 11 in the goal, and a very decisive performance here at home to close out qualifying. Again, the final score from Franklin Essed Stadium on this last night of qualifying, League B, Group A. Suriname 11, Dominica 0. We thank you for joining us here for this match tonight. From Paramaribo in Suriname, I'm Steve Schlanger, 11-9 the final, and we say good night from Suriname.